There's a 454B shortage. There's an R32 shortage now. Tariffs are going crazy. Honeywell just released a 47% price increase. My own HVAC company that I own, I've had to do 3 price increases in the last 2 weeks. So what does this mean for us HVAC contractors? I'm going to tell you exactly what we should be doing to survive in this type of situation. Now, I've owned my HVAC company for the past 20 years, and the first time I dealt with something like this, it scared me, it terrified me, and it was the same kind of pandemonium that's going on now with the 454B and everything else. I'm going to tell you exactly what we need to do, okay? 1, don't get scared. Don't get frustrated. In 2008, we had a recession. In 2021, we had supply chain shortages. That was horrible. We had the whole COVID situation. Now we have all of this random equipment changeover. Crazy stuff is going on. And you'll notice if you look inside the Facebook groups, you will see people saying, I'm done with this industry. And you see people who've been in the industry forever selling their companies or just closing them completely to go into a different industry. And then you have these really small one-man companies that were barely hanging in there. When stuff like this happens, when their prices go through the roof, they don't adjust their prices. They get frustrated. They just try to work. They don't notice their pricing and they go out of business. I saw this in 2008 when I was a really, really small company. There was tons of companies in my town and half of them went out of business. Same thing in the supply chain shortage. The same thing during the recession. What we need to do, the first thing is we need to hold on. Do not panic. This is the time when your competition purges. You go from 20 companies in your town to 7. And if you can hold on, you will be one of the ones that grow just a little bit bigger because your competition got cut short. And you have the same amount of population in your town, less companies to do the work. You know what that means. You are going to be one of the few. So the first thing you have to do is you have to hold on. The second thing that you have to do is you have to get smarter in your business. When things go crazy like this, when companies like Honeywell increase their prices, you have to make sure that you go in and you change your price. I have been checking my prices every other day. And every time I get a receipt from anything that I buy, I check and make sure that it's not a lot higher. That way my margin stays the same, because a lot of companies are going to start bleeding because they don't react fast enough. The second thing that you're going to have to do is be smarter. Be a smarter business person. Buy things in bulk that you know you're going to need, that you know you're going to sell. So instead of going and getting a new building or going buying 5 new trucks, buy things that you know you're going to need. So if you're going to go get a business loan, buy a pallet of 410. You know you're going to sell it. You know 6 months from now 410 is going to be more expensive. Buy a pallet of 32 or 454B. It's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. It's going to get more expensive. Buy a pallet of it. Go find out how many capacitors you sold last year. Buy all of them now. You see what's going on with these tariffs. 6 months from now, 3 months from now, they're going to be more expensive. And if you can have stuff from last year's prices, your margins are going to be better because you're going to have this year's prices, but you bought things at last year's prices. You understand what I'm saying? So buy things in bulk. When you see prices skyrocketing through the roof, don't reinvent the wheel. You know you're going to need contactors. You know you're going to need capacitors. You know you're going to need motors. You're going to need refrigerant. Go buy that in bulk. Take your loan money that you would spend something stupid on, like going and buying a new boat or a new motorcycle, and buy those parts at last year's prices. All of the ridiculous softwares that we have because we have shiny object syndrome, it's time to go on that profit and loss document. And if you bought my Know Your Numbers course, you already know how to look down your profit and loss and find the things that are waste. We go down there in that Know Your Numbers course. Find that waste. When times are tough, you have to cut as much as humanly possible because things are getting really, really tough. But hang in there. Don't worry about all the conspiracies about why 450B is a shortage, or it's the government, or it's this or that. Who cares about that? Okay, it's important, but the most important thing is that you react correctly as a business. Hang in there, my friend. I will see you on the other side of this mess.